yeah. It's Friday Eve. It's Sideline Junkies. We're doing the final countdown to 53, the Commanders edition of tonight's show. Uh, as you know from the title, countdown to 53. Other things we got going on, we got a heavy rest in peace. I don't know what was going on. I mean, I don't know if the Grim Reaper had a quota this week or something. Like he was making up for lost time. Then we got some rules changes, some things that we're glad to see go away. Um, I'll let the moment take care of that because I think we all know there's a football event that happens in February that a lot of people are glad is gone. Um, Beyond that, then we have the coup de grace, the countdown to 53, where KG and I make our cuts. I think this is probably one of the hardest years I've ever had on it, on making cuts. And I think we should get a buffer of two people that we can put on temporary IR that can come back. So like Jerry McNichols and I think Lawrence Armstrong might be a person that we might be able to just swing through or push through to the temporary IR just as a buffer, just to give us some. I should have said that earlier today, but I didn't think about it till just now. Other than that, it's Friday Eve, and I guess we gotta start it up the way we normally do it. Now, tomorrow morning, there's gonna be people. Now, I gotta tell you this because you don't work where I work, but this evening they brought in because the old Keurig wasn't Keurigging like it was supposed to. It's like you know how we say the San Diego's Chargers be charging. Well, the Keurig was Keurigging, so they had to get a new one. They unveiled it today, late in the day. A couple people took a couple of hacks at it just to give it a test run. So far, it's getting 5-star reviews on Yelp. So tomorrow morning when we get to work, you know there's gonna be a long line of people getting their coffees and cocos and mochachinos and frappuccinos and I don't know what other enos it is. And they're gonna be starting to talk because the line's gonna be so long that they just gotta start talking to each other. And they're gonna start asking questions, what you watched last night, what you do. Hey, you see they brought back the Hump Day commercial? Hey Mike, guess what day it is? And then at the end of all of that conversation, all those things they said, the one guy's gonna step up, he's gonna clear his throat. He's gonna put his arms aside, giving him a little bit of the Chris Collinsworth. Now here's a guy, and he's gonna say, last night I watched the Thursday night throwdown. Yeah, baby. And that's how we started the Thursday night throwdown off. I'm the Midnight Rider. He's the big guy, KG. This is the Sideline Junkies Thursday night throwdown, the countdown to 53 Commanders edition. And as we always do at this time, I turn the show over to the host, the big guy, KG.
Thank you, Midnight Rider, for that rousing introduction. That right there, if you've ever watched Boston in the early to mid 2000s and you saw the tip off, KG would always get the ball and he would do something. He would flip it back to Rondo, and Rondo would hit it, get a little hop step. He might hit a tip the hat and go on and bring it up court. That's how we operate. Midnight Rider always gets the tip comes to him. He does something. I gotta tip my hat and I got to go. You know,
let's go, baby.
I love it. First and foremost, most important question of the night is how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I gotta find me a couple more graphics. I know I gotta figure out what my fall lineup is going to be. I think I'm going first show. Each show gets a designated background. So I don't know. I'm working this out. I'm workshopping it. I already got the Wednesday, and we'll start making conversations on that as we get closer to the date. But nothing but net. We'll open up under a new name starting September 30th. So that'll be the first day for that. I think this is the first week that we will get the coaches highlight show. Sunday.
Oh, I think it's next Sunday.
Okay. So we'll nail that down and we'll announce that. We'll get Flying Ron to make a nice graphic for it. And go from there. I think I
And
did all the little heavy lifting for that. Oh, and if you're not busy Saturday at 2 p.m., uh, Laurel is on the road playing at Parkdale. So it's Parkdale versus Laurel at Parkdale, 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon.
all right, all right. Hopefully, I can be done my work by then.
But wait, there's more. No, I'm joking. Yeah, come on by.
Midnight Rider, this is the last Thursday we'll have without football. And I looked at the schedule and I was like, hold on. Something ain't right.
No, we got one more.
We got one more?
One more.
We got one. We do have one more. That's my fault. Next week could be the last Thursday. That's my fault. Because I'm like, oh yeah. See, I'm about to shoot my wad early. Look.
Well, we got a lot of stuff on your mind, man. You got a lot of stuff on your mind. You got the 36 team Sideline Junkies Fantasy Football League going. Doesn't matter what sport you're in, you're eligible drafted in this league. So
I'm trying to be fair and open it to everybody. It'll be pared back down again next year. But I was looking at the schedule.
I gotta say,
go ahead.
No, I gotta say I love Maddie. Because Maddie caught on to the bit.
Maddie caught on to it. Showtime caught on to it. Y'all just took it and ran with it. But the thing is, when y'all do it, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It picks me up. So if I'm in a bad place, I see that, man, I was in the truck and I was just like, yo, you picked Willie Beeman. I forget who Showtime picked. And I'm like, damn. I said, you know what? If I could open it up to people, I would. No bullshit. We do a fantasy football draft of fictional football players. It'll be something.
My gosh. Only you, man. Only you.
Hey.
Oh.
But I looked at the schedule programming note. We get the first game of the season on a Wednesday. Has the NFL ever opened up on a Wednesday?
No, this is the first one. Because they have to do Wednesday because they're doing the stupid Australia game Thursday. And then you have the Friday Brazil game. And then you have Sunday's regular opening Sunday. And then you get the Monday night football to close out the week and get you ready for the following week.
Do we even get a doubleheader on Monday night?
No, they stopped doing the doubleheaders.
I love the doubleheader. The doubleheader, the NFL doubleheader on Monday night is the equivalent of the doubleheader on opening day at MLB, where you get off work early. Like I used to fake sick. No bullshit. I used to fake sick on opening day to go home and sit on the sofa to watch opening day baseball. And I watched the afternoon game, and then I watched whatever night game came on. And I was good. I was fake sick to go see that.
Well, I told you that there was one Friday or one opening day. My boy Tim Watkins, my cousin Eric, and I, we like coordinated to be at Tim's house for opening day. And we ended up watching watch the Orioles, but like they had stopped and gotten like these brats from Knicks and Clinton. Because I think it was still open at that time, and it was still Knicks. Mm-hmm. So they went to Knicks and Clinton, got a bunch of brats, bunch of bread, got a couple different 6-packs of beer. The rule was if you get a 6-pack and it don't taste good, you can know it's easier getting rid of 6 beers than it is trying to get rid of a case. So that's why you do 6 if you get something you don't know about, you never tried before. Because you got to drink the 6-pack. And if it's 3 of you, everybody's got 2. So you got to drink your 2 before you drink anything else. If we find us a terrible beer.
Ain't nothing wrong with that there. I like that rule.
Rules of the
Rules is
drums.
rules.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get off in this thing because we got a lot of RIPs to get through, and they heavy, but let's get through them so we can get through the show. Now, this RIP Tim Curry, he actually passed away on Tuesday, but his team held the announcement because they wanted to give respect to Dolly Parton.
Well,
And I thought,
you know what that is, right? That's I call it the Farrah Fawcett rule.
Yes.
Because she died the same day as Michael Jackson, but I think she died early in the day.
Yep.
And then it was nothing after Mike passed away. It was no more news about Farrah Fawcett.
Nothing.
So that was smart by the family.
Very smart PR team. Now, he had been sick since 2012. He had a debilitating stroke in 2012, but he regained his ability to talk, and he could walk for short periods. But he had been dealing with that since 2012. Famous for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was in Annie, The Hunt for Red October, Home Alone 2, Three Musketeers, Congo, Muppet Treasure Island. He was in the Addams Family Reunion, Charlie's Angels, of course, Scary Movie 2, Bailey's Billions.
Oh, Scary Movie 2. That's the one with they're in the basement and which called cooks the food, and he's like, "Put it on the strong hand, put it on the strong hand."
Yep.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
He was also the source of nightmares for a young big guy KG in the form of Stephen King's It. He was Pennywise.
Never saw it.
You've never seen that?
Wasn't going to, never will. That, The Shining, won't happen. Not while I'm
I
black.
watched The Shining all day long. It took me 10 years to watch the second part of It.
Not while I'm black, buddy.
It took me 10 years. I watched the first part in like 91. It took me till 2001 in the middle of a Saturday afternoon, nothing to do. I opened up the windows, the blinds, everything. My grandmother was sitting in the dining room. I got her to sit in the living room so we could watch the second half. And mind you, I'm getting ready to turn 20 years old now. And I did. I told her, I was like, you got to go to the bathroom. I'll figure out how to pause this or something. But, you know, I just need you to stay here with me. And I was good. But he was 80 years old. And he left an indelible mark on theater, TV, movies, you know, so much, man, so much. That one hit you right in the gut, and then we would hit with another gut punch. The voice of a generation. The voice of Optimus Prime. Also was the voice of, if I'm not mistaken, Monterey Jack in the Rescue Rangers. He was also Carr in a Knight Rider series, the 2008 rendition. Peter Cullen, but he's most famously known as the voice of Optimus Prime. He passed away today, this morning, I believe, or it was either this morning or last night. I don't know. They're not giving me anything at 85 years old.
All I remember is his voice, man. I mean, when they said what he did, it was like, oh, okay, like I get it. That's not a person you see often because he's the voice behind something. And that's kind of even more impactful because nobody sees your actions. All they get is your voice, your inflections. They don't get to see you act it out, but you acting out the words that you're saying because you're not just talking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's a great talent.
that's a voice that has spanned generations.
Decades.
Yeah, because you think about that, our generation watching Transformers on TV, he was Optimus Prime. We heard his voice when we were kids. Our kids heard his voice when they were kids when the Transformer movies came out.
Exactly.
You're talking about across generations consistently. Me being a Chippendale fan, Rescue Rangers. I was just watching that. I think last week.
Boy, I'm glad you cleaned that one up. Woo! Woo!
That's
Whoa! Whoa! Good God! What are we doing here?
Look! I just had you in the beginning, but I had to cross it back over there. Yeah, Rescue Rangers there.
Oh man!
Of course, I knew him as Monterey Jack, and I was just watching that like last week. I was watching a couple of episodes on Disney Plus last week. So, 85 years old. Rest in peace. Next up, it's a name that you don't really know, but you know the face. Samuel Monroe. For some people, you could say Eilena's cousin.
Yeah. You
heard you got Eilena pregnant, partner.
Hey man, he played some dirty dudes, man.
He was Bulldog in Tales from the Hood. He was also in Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood as Sam. You heard my man, he said he don't want no trouble, but I do. And he wound up getting stomped out, and then he was flattened. He was in Set It Off as Lorenz. Got that man shot up over that Acorn Project haircut. He was Junior in the Players Club.
That's probably the worst one.
Yeah. He was in Out All Night. If you remember Out All Night from 92, Vivica Fox, Patti LaBelle, Morris Chestnut, Dwayne Martin, where Patti LaBelle owned a nightclub. It came on NBC for a short time. But it didn't, it was good in black households, but it didn't go far. But he played in a lot of stuff. He was actually in Black Jesus back in for 2 episodes in 2019. His last movie was Shine Kings in 2022, but he had been sick for quite some time, since April. Meningitis. And his mom announced that he had died. She announced the day that he died last night after being hospitalized. He was 52 years old.
Man, I think Maddie says it the best, man. You never know the day, man. Don't tell your loved ones you love them. Because anytime, it could be your number that gets called, man. Like if you got a petty beef or something that, especially with a family member, and you can get it taken care of, man, do it now, man. You don't want those situations where you said, I wish I had, that moment to call them. I thought about calling them. I said I'll wait till tomorrow. Let's stop doing that. I stop waiting till tomorrow. If that thought comes across your mind, go ahead and make that phone call, man. For real.
Agreed. Rest in peace to Samuel Monroe. Now there's some right here, not as serious. The next two, not as serious, but sports related. Rest in peace to the ESPN ticker. They said during college football broadcasts, they will not have the ticker running across the bottom of the screen anymore. We've been getting the ticker for over 30 years.
Hold on. You just can't drop that. What?
You didn't know that?
Oh, hell no. Because I'd have protested. I'd be in Connecticut right now, doing the show from Connecticut with a picket sign.
Yes,
that
sir.
Makes no sense.
They have done away with the ticker.
That's how you know what game is coming up. Like,
agreed.
Killing me, KG.
ESPN has gone away from the ticker. See, I'm gonna say something. I love ESPN with all my heart and soul. That was my favorite channel. When I lived in an apartment by myself for 5 years, my TV stayed on ESPN. When I turned my TV on in my living room, it was on ESPN. Even if I wasn't sitting in the living room, ESPN was on. If I wasn't playing the game, ESPN was on. Only time ESPN wasn't on my living room TV is if Dario was watching Back at the Barnyard, Xavier was watching Phineas and Ferb, or Law and Order was on. And it was Wednesday night. It's the only time ESPN wasn't on my TV. Go ahead.
Last Sunday, I was sitting there watching Phineas and Ferb myself. So, just letting you know,
it's a great cartoon.
I've watched Phineas and Ferb for. Actually, shout out to the kid, because next week, September 1st, the kid turns 21. For those that don't know, I always refer to Joshua as the kid. And it's funny because I used to do it so much when I started working at Dark Cars that one day, like 3 or 4 years into it, the lady came to me and was like, "Hey, Ben, can we ask you a question?" I was like, "Sure." She was like, "What's your son's name?" I was like, "What do you mean? You don't know my son's name?" They was like, "Ben, you never say his name. You just call him the kid." I was like, "I don't say it all the time." It's like, "Yeah, you say it all the time." So I had to tell him his name after like working there for 4 years because I guess I never say it. So Joshua Stephen Conti, on September 1st, have a happy birthday, sir. I'll probably say it again on Sunday's show, but yes.
You gave the whole government name. Just
hey, might as well. It's a whole story behind the name too, but we ain't gonna go into that. We ain't got time for that.
But the ESPN ticker is done. It's all as it is already done away with for college football playoff games and other big events like NBA and NHL postseason contests. ESPN will not feature the ticker for regular season games that air on ABC, ACC Network, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN News, and the SEC Network.
Well, I would like for the executives at ESPN to look in their mailbox, because what's going to come their way is they're going to see a nice little gift. It's going to start with 5 fingers up and it's going to end with 1. And you pick the right one that's going to be up in the air. It ain't going to be the ring. It ain't the pinky. It ain't the index and it ain't the thumb.
I like to second that notion. And but I like to second that motion, so the motion carries, because you can watch one game and still keep up with every other game, the games that happened previously, the games that are going to happen later.
Breaking news.
I say this an awful lot. We used to be a proper society. We used to live like kings and queens.
Even when you ain't have,
you got your sports, and you got to get your sports. You had your ticker running across the bottom with all the news and everything, but you're sitting there watching. You're watching the bottom, but you're listening. You're there. But you're taking that away from us. We're losing recipes. Please stop touching shit.
Nah, you know what it is. Somebody, because they lost the recipe cards that grandma had, or they threw them away because they tried to make their own additions. You know what I'm saying? They took the brown sugar out of the barbecue sauce and did something else because they gluten free. You know what I'm saying? So it's dude. I think that's the reason why I end up watching shows like Phineas and Ferb, and I watch like old sitcoms, because I can't sit through. I'll watch an episode of SportsCenter and I'm done. Like normally, no matter when I catch it, I'll watch the middle to the end, the beginning of the next one, the end of the next one. Like I might be going 2.5 hours and I'm watching the same SportsCenter over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, I just, you know what? This might be one of my new things I carry into the rest of the year. But whenever I see the new SportsCenter, I just think of that little kid and Mr. Mom. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Brother, I used to watch SportsCenter, the 6 o'clock SportsCenter, to get the top 10. I don't even watch 6 o'clock Sports Center. Now, only time I watch Sports Center is doing basketball, when basketball, football, and hockey are rolling. That's the only time I watch Sports Center. And I watch the 11 o'clock Sports Center. If I can't catch the 11 o'clock Sports Center with Van Pelt, I won't watch it. And that's never been me. I watched every iteration of Sports Center for the last 25. Nope, it's been close to 30 years. I can't do it. Steal a line from this gentleman here. What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
And our final RIP. RIP the Pro Bowl. The NFL has decided to go away from the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl.
So,
I want you to get this first because I've said a whole lot, but I got a lot to say about this. I want you to take this first.
No, I'm happy that they did it this way because I'm tired of watching the Pro Bowl, and I know you're going to give me a little side eye on this, but I'm watching the Pro Bowl, and Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowl QB because the 8 other quarterbacks in that conference decided not to show up, and he was the only person, one of only 3 people to say yes. The fact that Snoop, whatever Snoop name is, or Scoop, whatever his name is, for Baltimore, he was a Pro Bowl. Snoop Huntley, that's his name. He was a Pro Bowler. He played like 3 games in a season, but he was like the 3rd joker to say yes after they tried everybody. And I say everybody, I mean everybody. And that's the problem. The problem is first they took it from Hawaii, and then they brought it to Orlando. And they're like, "Ooh, don't you want to go to?" I mean, I know you love Hawaii, but what about Orlando? Can I sell you on Orlando? It's sunny, it's warm. They got water. It's like Hawaii, kinda. Can I interest you in Orlando? And I think that's when the first time that started the decline. That's when guys started saying, "Nah, I'm good." And I think also part of the thing is I think some of these short weeks are part of the thing where these guys are getting so beat up that when the season's over, they're ready to shut their bodies down. They don't want to go through the pounding no more. They don't want to go through dealing with everything, so they'll just chill. And I think this was the right decision. All you do is you get the guys from NFL Network. And if they're proper and fancy gentlemen, they'll all wear tuxedo t-shirts, copying the Midnight Rider, and we'll do a Pro Bowl announcement show. We'll announce the 2 sides, the 44 players, or I think it's 44 players that they're announcing, and I announce those players in that format. You know, because the NFL knows how to make anything a show. Announce it and be done with it. And then we call Target and we ask Target, "Hey, we're gonna fly 8 quarterbacks out somewhere. We're gonna fly them somewhere nice. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna kick it old school. We're not gonna do this fancy dancy targets with the targets in the sky. We're gonna do targets ground level, like you making field throws. And we're gonna do a quarterback challenge sponsored by Target. And then we also get what's the outdoor place?
Bass Pro Shop.
We'll get Bass Pro Shop to be another sponsor. So brought to you by Target and Bass Pro Shops, the QB challenge.
Now, Midnight Rider, pull my coat and follow me on this because I like where you're going. I like what you said there. I like what you're doing. For the last 4 years, I've been harping about why is the Pro Bowl losing traction, because it's when you hold it. The Pro Bowl started losing traction once they started making the Pro Bowl the week before the Super Bowl instead of the week after. You started losing traction. You messed up the church's money. You messed up everything. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the Pro Bowl used to be a vacation spot. Everybody, it was like you went on a 3-week vacation.
Yep.
You used to have that week in between the Super Bowl where nothing was happening. That's when everybody went into the Super Bowl city, got set up, you party. If you were in the Super Bowl, that's when you had a week to fly in, get yourself together, get acclimated to the time change if need be, get your practicing in so you could play in the Super Bowl. But everybody else that wasn't playing, they came into town. Sometimes that was where you got away with your wife or your girlfriend. And you was like, forget it. We going to go see the Super Bowl because I got tickets. We going there, sit in a suite and hang out in that city. Then after that, after the Super Bowl, we're going to go home, get the kids, but we're going to fly to Hawaii because I'm playing in the Pro Bowl. So I'm spending a week in Hawaii with my family. Sometimes your coaches
No. You didn't say that right. You got come on, you got to say it right.
I'm spending a week in Hawaii with my family.
There we go.
My coaching staff, my teammates, my friends. I'm spending a week in Hawaii. And then the following Sunday, I get in on Monday. We do the walkthroughs, bullshit around. We go see what's on the island, go chill out, lay on the beach and whatever. And then Sunday we play, and then we go back home and we start the off season. But I made this same pitch 3 or 4 years ago that you just made. You got to jazz it up because every other weekend, every other All-Star weekend or week or All-Star event in all the 4 major sports, the NFL is the weakest. NBA starts on Thursday because you got the Thursday night, you got the celebrity games. Friday, you got the rookie games, all the rookie events. Saturday, you got All-Star Saturday night. You got 3-point shootout, rising, the shooting stars, dunk contest, all of that. Sunday, you got the game. Okay, everybody go back home, rest Monday and Tuesday. We back to games on Wednesday. Bet. MLB, 3 days of events. You got the home run derby is the big thing. They don't really have anything else, but they got 3 days of events where everybody comes out. NHL, 3 days of events. NFL used to have a week. You don't have it anymore. In that week, if you bring it back, you put it the week after the Super Bowl. And make sure it doesn't clash with All-Star weekend. But you put it a week after the Super Bowl. You can't do it in Hawaii no more because the Aloha Stadium has been torn down. I guess it's going to be redone, whatever. But if you, in a perfect world, you put it in Hawaii. In that week, you do the NFL's fastest man. You do the quarterback challenge. You do the obstacle course that they used to do with the running backs and the DBs. You do all of these things to showcase talent. Then you have the game, which is not really a game. It's a game, but you get some hits here and there, but ain't nobody trying to kill each other. But you get good. You used to get good games. When starters came out, you got good Pro Bowl games. They never tried to market the Pro Bowl. Now it's dead. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to showcase your All-Stars as the NFL? You're the NFL. What you going to do? Thanks for taking my call. I'll hang up and listen.
They just showed you what they're going to do. They're going to make this an announcement. I would love to see them make it part of the all right, since we're grabbing coattails today, march with me here, brother.
All right.
I would love to see them do this because this would probably be the best way to do it. I would hold the list until we do the NFL awards. The NFL awards banquet they do every year where you announce the MVP and all that stuff. I would announce the Pro Bowl team then. Now, I know it's not going to make it like everybody's going to know who's on the Pro Bowl, but I would make sure they get recognized at that event. So even if we announce it, say, at Thursday, the night before the NFL awards show, then at the NFL awards show, people come up, maybe you give them a plaque. I don't know. but you do something to recognize them, and that's it. Because you're not going to be able to do the festivities. The game is dead. The game itself is dead because we don't compete the same way we used to compete. So you can take that game, you know where it's going, in that little box. We're gonna throw it out in the middle of the ocean. Yes, sir.
But here's another thing. Are you going to tell me that after the Pro Bowl originally started in 1939 as the National Football League All-Star Game, right? From 39 to 42 was the National Football League All-Star Game. Turned into the Pro Bowl from 1951 to 2022. So what you're telling me is that you couldn't even look back in the history and say, you know what, we could jazz this up. What you do is you take your college All-Stars and you put them against your Pro Bowl All-Stars in an exhibition game. They used to do that. The world champion of the NFL used to play the college All-Stars. And people say, well, nah, you got grown man strength versus kids. No, that's not grown men versus kids. Because the college All-Stars used to kick the NFL's ass.
KG.
It can happen.
KG. The game is dead. DEAD. Dead, KG. Toodaloo. It's so hard to say goodbye. Dead. You can't resuscitate it if they don't want to hit and play football. You can't resuscitate this. You cannot incentivize them to actually want to play and hit. The only reason we got a good All-Star game was because Wemby came out and made it personal from the break.
But you know what's crazy? The NBA All-Star festivities is about to go the way. Everything's getting ready to go the way of the dinosaur. Because the NBA is starting to ruin that weekend. They ruined the game by having everything split up into 2-3 different games and you just playing. No. East versus West. AFC versus NFC. NL versus AL. US versus the world. That's it. You want to do all these little caveats and tweak, you turning people off. Even the youngins don't want to watch the All-Star game no more because guess what? This is not the All-Star game I grew up with. I watched the East All-Stars play the West All-Stars. What is this? You got dudes that play in the West playing with dudes in the East. Like, what is this? People are turned off by this. They're turned off by all of this. Stop tweaking shit that didn't need to be tweaked. One of the best Pro Bowls we had was 2007, which was the Sean Taylor. No, I'm sorry, 2006. That was the Sean Taylor. No, it was 2007. That was the last year in Hawaii. That was the Sean Taylor hit on Brian Moorman. And also he had a couple of other the one where Reggie Wayne said he saw him, he ran the post up the middle, and he saw him out the corner of his eye, and he brung his hand back, said Sean Taylor ran past and said, "You lucky, I love you." We had great competition. One of the best All-Star games we ever had. Jordan's last All-Star game, Magic's last All-Star game. When you got a player that's going out and this is their last All-Star game, when it comes time for LeBron to go and it's his last All-Star game, it better be a spectacle. It better be a fucking spectacle. I mean, I need Mariah Carey in a mermaid dress with all of LeBron's jerseys in the dress and everything, singing whatever she gonna sing. I don't give a shit, but it better be a fucking spectacle.
So
that's that look like you asking too much.
2027, huh, man? So whatever day the All-Star break is, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be on a Sunday. That Tuesday night flight afterwards, I'm gonna have to talk KG off the wall and off the ledge because he's gonna be mad because they didn't do enough. So programming note, if they got it on Kalshi, go ahead and put you can put a paycheck on Cauchy that KG is going to be disappointed with this year's All-Star game. Just go ahead. Hey, you got a little nest there you can risk. You can, in the words of what is that coordinator that used to be in Arizona, the head coach, bald head white guy.
Not Wisenhut.
No, the bald head white guy with the he wore the Kangos.
Oh, Arians.
Yeah, Bruce Arians. Yeah, if you got a little change that you want to risk it for the biscuit, this is the time to risk it for the biscuit because he gonna be upset after the All-Star game. I'm gonna let you know because I know what I know.
I am. Sticking with the NFL. The NFL and the NFLPA have come up with an agreement. Midnight Rider, tell us all about that agreement.
Well, we've got new player safety rules. Basically, these rules take into effect a couple of things. If you are a person that's been punished because you did a hip drop tackle, horse collar tackle, helmet to helmet, crackback, and it's one other of their 5 player safety penalties. So here's one thing that's nice, and I'll give them credit for this. If you get a one-time offense, you only do it once, and they fine you, and you go the rest of the season without a infraction, they give you your money back. But if you do it more than once, of course, you don't get your money back at the end of the year. That money goes to the league. And then if you do it 3 times, there's a 1-game suspension that follows that. Now, there is some particulars that we are trying to effort to understand. I don't know if you get just 3 of any of those infractions or if each infraction is separate. So that's something we're going to work on and try to have for you by Sunday so we can differentiate what it is and help you out with that. But the only problem I have with this, and it bothers me, and yes, I understand you want to keep players safe, but I have a problem with the PA always using the empirical data brought to them by the NFL. Like, when are we going to figure out you can't trust this data or this data is skewed to fit whatever the narrative they want it to be? That's the part that bothers me. And that's why when they talked about, I think the guy's name was Hollandquist or Hollingsworth, the former NFL president, NFLPA president, who stepped down. This was the brother that was going to the strip club and putting it on the league's dime or on the PA's dime. This is the dude that was traveling and putting it on the PA's dime. This is the dude. And their stories documenting that he was in collusion with the league on certain policies. And this has always been my problem with the NFLPA. I've said this relentlessly, no matter who the person was in charge of the PA. I always felt like they allowed the league to get away with stuff. And they just, for some reason, they just believe the information. It's like that one girl that cheats on you, says, "Oh, baby, I'll never do that again." And then 2 weeks later, she cheats on you, and you trying to figure out what happened. Or she kept giving you proof. Or some girl keeps believing in you, that you're going to be faithful to her. And 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, you done gone out and cheated again. Took her car, went and took the girl to get tacos, had her in the house while she was at work, picked her up from work, got her home, car was on E. You know how it is. If you don't know, some of that's kind of like the baby boy story from the movie, but I ain't gonna get into that. But still, like, it's just the NFLPA for some reason just takes the information the NFL gives them at face value. I don't understand it. I think they need new leadership because I said this to you in the pre-show when we started talking about this. you can't keep punishing my players, but not giving me anything. You gotta give me something back. This gotta be a quid pro quo relationship. You gotta let me, if you want to say, all right, we're gonna enforce this rule. All right, so what's coming back for the players on the other side of this? This has got to be a negotiation because it's going to be added to the CBA. So what do we get? Do we get an extra 2 years of healthcare? So when the guy retires, instead of getting 5 years of healthcare, he gets 7, maybe 10. Maybe when a guy hits 4 years, he becomes vested instead of 5. Like we gotta start moving some markers to make it easy for our players. Fines, player fines. They gotta be commensurate. Fines gotta be commensurate to a guy's salary. You can't fine. I remember when Niles Paul was a rookie and he had a hit, he got fined like $60,000. And it was like Niles Paul was barely making a couple $100,000. That's a salary. How can you fine me most of my salary in a game that you're not even paying my salary for? Go ahead, stop me now, KG, because I feel it. Just go ahead. That's the.
No, because you're right. You're absolutely right. What are they getting?
Like, you just can't keep. Like, we keep getting these agreements, and we can do this. Oh yeah, that's cool with us. But it's like, where's the pushback? Where's the pushback? That's all. Like, it's like you just give it up. It's like it's you know what? Never mind. I was about to go there. I'm gonna stop myself. All I'm gonna say is, like, you in Ohio, the owner's got $160 in their pocket, and you in a trailer park. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's reset. Take a break. Midnight Rider, get your ice, get your drinks ready, because we gonna do our annual thing. We do this every year. For the past 4-5 years, I've been losing to this guy right here. I ain't too happy with it. We're going to do the 53-man roster projection. On the other side of this break, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Thursday night throwdown. The ad you just saw was for our Tuesday night 6:30 show, Unapologetic Sports. Now, next week coming up on Unapologetic Sports, we will meld the two shows, Unapologetic Sports and the Thursday night throwdown. So Unapologetic will be Unapologetic Solo from 6:30 to about 7:15, and at 7:15 they'll play the commercial break, and the glass of shadow. Down the aisle walks the big guy KG, getting his big guy wisers, letting the world bask in the glory that is everything that is the big guy KG. And somewhere later on in the show, coming down the ramp to interfere will be the Midnight Rider. I think we're gonna have a bunch of people because we're doing the East this week on Unapologetic as their preview, and there's like 8 people in this on this network that all like teams in the East. Now, I'm not sure if everybody's gonna be available. I think I'm gonna be running late based on the information I'm getting from work. This in the month is gonna be crazy. So yeah, we're gonna try to get everybody caught up, get predictions, get some information, and then we'll have our version of NFL preview as a network altogether. So that's next Tuesday, starting at 6:30, Unapologetic Sports. 7:15, we roll the Tuesday night flight info, and then boom, go right into it. Breaking down the East the only way we can. NFC East, AFC East. With that being said, but
No, go ahead. I'm waiting on you.
I was gonna say, with that being said, let's commence to the annual tradition of KG getting whooped in the picks. I did reach out to Terrence, the Manimal. I told him if he can get me his info by Sunday morning, first thing, I'll try to include him in the count because he actually officially was the winner. He was first, I was second, you were third. So we'll go with that. So let's do this list this way. Let's go each position group, if you don't mind. Instead of us saying, huh?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
All right. So let's go ahead and start with the easiest one. The most important position on the field, the QBs. I'll let you state what you've done, how you came to that conclusion, and go from there.
All right. Now I was looking at this, and I looked at this roster, and I said, "Damn, are they gonna keep 3? But if they keep 3, you know, my boy Sam Hartman ain't got a job because Ethan Kalamanakis,
So B. Mitchell Finley calls him Cadillac Manis.
Cadillac
you can always say Cadillac Manis. You know what I'm saying?
That I was wondering. I was like, well, he might supplant Sam Hartman as your practice squad player. But if they put him on a practice squad, somebody gonna snatch that kid up. But I only have us keeping 2 quarterbacks this year, and that is Jaden Daniels and Marcus Mariota.
All right. Well, on this side of the ledger, we had a different thought process because we know Mariota. We're not too sure on the knee, but it gives me enough room to have pause. And of course, Sam Hartman, Notre Dame kid, by way of Wake Forest, by way of the QB show on Netflix. He gone. Now he might be on the practice squad, but he's definitely not on the 53. So in my addition to this, I kept 3 quarterbacks: Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota, and I think Cadillac Manis.
Cadillac Manis. Okay.
You don't have to worry about writing mine down because I got it printed out. I got it saved.
Yeah, I forgot. You got a spreadsheet in Excel.
That's right, brother. That's right. Co-pilot, baby. We stepping up.
Shit.
No. All right, running back position.
All right, running back. You go first.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the running backs. I think we talked about this at the beginning of the show. I would use my IR short-term IR place, one of my 2 on McNichols, Jeremy McNichols. But I still keep 4 backs. And those 4 backs are Rashad White, Katron Allen, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, and Robert Henry. I would cut Craig Reynolds, but he'd be a prime candidate. He'd be the person I'd say turn your cell phone off because we're gonna bring you back on the practice squad to be part of our 70-man team. So I've got 4 running backs. So my total right now is 7 players.
I like what you're putting down there. I got 3 running backs.
Ooh, who'd you cut?
And I got Bill Krosky-Merritt, Robert Henry, who's shined all preseason, and I'm just hoping that I'm hoping this is not a Marcus Mason thing, but I'm hoping he actually gets on the team. And Rashad White are my 3, so I have 5 at this present point.
So you cut the late round pick, Katron Allen,
practice squad.
You think he's gonna make it through?
Huh?
You dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight on that, brother.
Uh,
All right. All right. So what you got next?
wide receiver.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Now
indeed.
this is where I don't normally keep this many wideouts, but I got a lot of wideouts. And I was looking, I was counting it up. I was like, I got enough linemen. Wideouts is where I wanted to go deep. Of course, you got Scary Terry. You got Diggs. I got De'Ami Brown, Treylon Burks, Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, and Jacoby Jones. And Antonio Williams should be on here too. Why is he not? Yeah, Antonio Williams.
All right.
Brown,
So I took a different.
Scary. Yeah.
So I took a different approach, and I'm gonna put a caveat in because I think because of the depth in this position, this may be a place where the phone rings and maybe somebody takes like a Van Jefferson or scary enough, maybe they take a Luke McCaffrey off your hands for like a center or a pick, something like that. Because I think the person that's gonna make it hard for this team to cut him is gonna be the kid Jaden. Is it Bradley or Brady? Number 84, 86, I think it is. He had the one-hand catch last week. I think he's gonna make it hard to cut him, but I cut him because I couldn't find a way to get him through to the next thing. The only way I could probably get him through and keep 9 receivers is by putting Dorrance Armstrong on the temporary IR, like we talked about. That's the only way I could keep him, and that's probably how I would do it. So if Armstrong goes to the short-term IR, Brady gets keep, and I keep 9 receivers. Is it 9? No, I keep 8. So I'd have De'Ami Brown, Treylon Burks, Stephon Diggs, Jalen Lane, Luke McCaffrey, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Williams, and then Jaden Bradley or Brady. So that would give me 8. So I'd have my list at 15 at this point.
So you know what that means, right?
What?
That we got the same receiving core except for one player.
Yeah.
I got Jacoby Jones.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
Really?
I'm just because the kid, the 86 kid made a great one-hand catch against Detroit. If you remember week 1 of the preseason, there were 2 punts he almost blocked. And then he made a couple plays on teams. I think he might that's why I think Friday, tomorrow at 6 p.m. I think if he has a big game, he's gonna make it real uncomfortable for the other two, for Van and maybe even Luke in that room. I think Luke can get by because of specials, but maybe it might be De'Ami that's the guy. But De'Ami plays specials, so it's like everybody's like, oh, you can use specials, but you can't really use specials in the case because the 3 guys fighting for the 2 spots all play specials, and they do it pretty well.
Yep. You make a convincing argument. I thought about De'Ami, but I'm like, you don't bring De'Ami Brown back to cut him. But I look at De'Ami Brown different than I think you do.
I mean, you ain't really paying him, so I like him. I think Jaden brings out the best in him, but I mean, I don't know, bro. That kid Jaden is Sean, man. The kid out of UNLV. I was like, all right, he can make the practice squad, but I think he's shown enough too, especially with his contributions on teams, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, and I definitely don't know what I don't know.
All right.
So we're at the tight end position.
Tight end position.
I kept 4 here.
Ooh, I only kept 3.
Kept John Bates, Chika Konkwu, Ben Stinnett, and Colston Yankoff.
I got 3 out of your 4. Yankoff's the odd man out.
Okay.
I don't see a reason to keep 3. I don't. Anthony coming in. Wow. What are you doing here, birthday boy? He said, hey guys, I can catch you tonight, but I can't make any promises tomorrow. I just got to my hotel and watching from the Disney Swan and Dolphin Hotel. That's dedication.
Hey man, he the hardest working fan for the Sideline Junkies, man.
Love it.
So now we on O-line.
Yeah, now this right here, whoo boy. And I may have to get some caveats because you talked about short-term IR. And I think Laramie Tunsil will be short-term IR.
Not gonna be able to put him there.
Not gonna be able to.
This is all right. So this is the way I did mine. So maybe I should go first because I can explain what I did. So remember, the other rule is when you cut down to 53, as long as they make the 53, after that you can move the person. All right. So in my line, I've got Golden, Allegretti, Coleman, Paul, Connerly, Tunsil, Scott, and Wiley. I think once we get past that date, you call DJ Humphreys back. Say, hey, then bring DJ back after you put Tunsil on IR because he's not going to be short term. He tore his tricep, so he's going to need weeks. So you got up to 8 players that you can put on IR, and what is it called? What's the word I want to use? And you can call them or say you can determine that they are going to be on the IR, but they're players that you're going to bring back. Designate them for return. So he'd be one of your 8 players to designate for return. So you probably right now are at 3 because you're going to put McNichols, you're going to have Dorrance Armstrong on the short-term version, and then you're going to have Tunsil on the long-term.
Long-term is what? 9 weeks? He can't come back to like week 9?
I don't think they even dictate a number of weeks because in short-term, the reason why you don't want to do short-term is after the 4 weeks, you got to start a clock to dictate when he's coming back. Whereas I think if you do it long-term, and I'll double-check this, but I think in the if you just designate him for IR and schedule him to return, that return could be later than the 4 weeks. Because then you get like 2 weeks to ramp him up, and then you have to add him after those 2 weeks, or you have to put him on out for the season. I know that's a lot. So I would say you have to put Tunsil on your roster because you can't get him through the other way.
Okay. Now, here's my starting 5, and then I'll tell you the backups. I got Coleman starting at the left tackle. Left guard is Paul. Allegretti at the center. Right guard is Cosme. Right tackle is Connerly with Wiley, Tunsil, Galoin, and Good Jones backing everybody up.
Okay, so you got about 9.
Yeah. And that's 25 players on offense.
And think about this. The reason I even think that some of that might even change because another thing to think about is maybe Tunsil spot. You know, Humphreys is a wild card because I don't know how much they like him. So you got Humphreys you got to worry about. And then I think also center, the backup center isn't on this roster. So you have to add a center. So that's kind of why I went 8, a little bit shorter, because then I can start moving some people around that are hurt, and maybe we can put them on some IR or figure some things out that way. Like I try to give myself some wiggle room.
All right.
So next up is D-line.
Defense. Yeah.
All right. So
this was a tough one too. I'm not gonna lie. This was a tough one. Now, you do know as of right now, and this is coming from Wikipedia. Drake Jackson is on IR. Malik Spencer and Dietrich Wise is on the active but pup list.
Right. So I didn't, because I think Wise is another person that's probably going to take a little bit longer to recover. So I think damn, I'm gonna have to cut somebody. All right, I got it. Yeah, I got it. All right, so my D line becomes Dietrich Wise, Maurice Hurt, Kinlaw, Payne, Settle, and TJ Margaranyanga. And I actually think because he's part of the international piece, you may be able to keep him without him being on the 53. He's your 54th because you do get a roster spot in the national players.
Okay.
It's so much minutia on this. Go ahead.
I think I went 8 on D line, and I agree with you. It's so much. Like I'm looking at the designation for positions. Omenihu, Charles Omenihu, he's a DN. Everybody else is listed as either a nose or defensive tackle. He's the only DN on this list.
I got him. Oh yeah, he is. Well, I got D line because I got my list from. Wait a second, I cut him. Damn, I cut him.
Oh shit! I got him. I got Ricky Barber, Byron Coward, Javon Kinlaw, Johnny Newton, Deron Payne, Tim Suttle, and Shy Tuttle.
I think Newton goes. I think they just gonna put him on IR and let him go for the season because he had a peck. And I think he's gonna start running out of numbers for guys to return. I think at a certain point you just got to say, it's been real, dog, and we'll get you back next year because they've got way too many injuries to do this dance. That's why I didn't have him on my list because I just think we got to put him on IR and just say we see you in 2027, bro.
All right. Next up, linebacker.
This is where I'm heavy. I actually got 8. I got Actually, I guess I gotta cut somebody because I had to add in your boy on my line. So we're gonna go Clavion Chason, Leo Chanel, Frankie Lou, Jordan McGee, Odafe Owe, Joshua Josephs, and Sonny Styles. And I think Ali Cahoe and K Madrano, you gotta bring them back some way, somehow. Actually, no. I'd keep Ali Cahoe because I'm cutting somebody in the DB room. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. I went 9 on this one. So I got Dorrance Armstrong at linebacker, outside linebacker. Boogie Basham, Sonny Styles,
Sonny,
Clavon Chason, Leo Chanel, Javonte Jean Baptiste, Ricky Jean Baptiste. And I got Frankie Louvo, of course, Jordan McGee, and Kane Madrano. And did I say Sonny Styles?
Yeah, you said Sonny.
Okay. So yeah, those are my linebackers. Because that
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why are you keeping Boogie?
We don't want to keep Boogie Basham?
No, he's here. He's here because he's got one job and one job only. He's gonna play Friday. He's gonna get a little sweat in. He's gonna make sure I gotta play a couple other people. And you want to pat him on the back, let him take his jersey home. Maybe give him a couple extra ones so he can put in his bag and he can hang it up in his house.
But it was either keeping Boogie Basham or keeping KO. Those are my came down to my last two.
I'm keeping Kehoe because Kehoe is a strong special teamer. You can put him right into that role that was um, held by Nick Ballore. He could be your special teams ace that you play every week because he's your special team ace.
All right. Now, one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go deep with linebackers because we don't get good linebacker play sometimes because we don't have enough personnel.
But think about it like this. So in most situations, you will have Owe and Chase on as your outside ends on most occasions. And then your middle is either going to be Chanel and Styles, and Lulu in some combination of those three. Or maybe in this a certain set, Lulu is coming off the edge and you've got two defensive linemen and you got Chase on and I mean it's gonna be weird because maybe you run your 4-3 with Chase on and Owe on the outside with Kinlaw and Payne looking like giving you like a 4-3 front look. And then your three linebackers are Lulu, Chanel, and Styles. And the other thing we're not factoring in is the greatest equalizer is injuries. Because you know Joseph is going to play. Maybe he just plays on passing downs. Maybe he plays early. So that way you don't have to play Chase on in the run game. So it's going to be some stuff there. I mean, it's going to be a lot of mixing and matching. Let's get to these DBs because this is interesting for me.
One thing I love is defensive backfield, but this was tough for me.
You want me to go first?
You go first, because I want to see if I'm at least in the ballpark. I know I ain't in the suites. I might be up in the cheap seats, but I might be there.
So because of the player I forgot, I'm cutting Antonio Hamilton, and trying to bring him back on the practice squad because he's a 10-year, 11-year guy who's like a fourth corner. If somebody picks him up off waivers, then have at it. It's your birthday. It's time for the percolator and all that good stuff. So I got Amik Robertson, Mike Samuelstill, Trey Amos, Rasul Douglas, Percy Butler, Nick Cross, Quan Martin, Jeremy Reeves, and Tyler Owens. I can't let Tyler Owens out my building because, the athleticism, the speed, and in this set, in this defense, I think he can be great. You can play him at the line. I mean, you saw him truck the running back in Detroit. Now, I know most starting running backs, he may not truck like that, but I think he's going to have a physical impact on the game. Quan Martin, what people forget, when he was at Illinois, he played a lot of slot corner and nickel corner. So he could probably be your third safety in your lineup, and you can play him close to the line of scrimmage. Nick Cross is going to be an animal in this defense when they unleash him. And I think Butler is going to be your special teamer. And I think Reeves is going to be your deep safety in most situations. He's going to be your guy that's your single high. And maybe he's not the single high. Maybe they put T.O. at single high and use his speed. But that's how I see that playing out. So I got 9 DBs. I had 10, but I had to cut Hamilton and just sneak him through to the practice squad. And the one thing that's the beauty of all this is no matter how we lay it out, the great equalizer is going to be injuries, whether it's through the course of the season or whatever, and it's always going to change.
Here's the crazy thing, and this is funny. You talk about Reeves being your single high safety. I said it last season. I said Jeremy Reeves has been a special teamer most of his career. I know he knows the position, but I don't feel comfortable with him as my Cobra safety, great. But him as my starting free safety, I don't know. I'm a little shaky. But that's just me.
I mean, like I said, I think there's gonna be 3 safeties on the field. I mean, I think the problem and the thing about the chaos of this defense is you're not gonna know who the person is that's gonna be the blitzer or that's gonna be the person that's gonna create chaos.
I got Trey Amos,
Mm-hmm.
Percy Butler,
Mm-hmm.
Sue Douglas,
Mm-hmm.
Mikey Samerstill,
Uh-huh.
Quan Martin,
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Reeves,
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Owens. I think that was it. Fabian Moreau.
Okay.
Those are. I guess I'm going with experience, but yeah,
we operate on the honor system. So, you know, when we count our list up, let's make sure we know what we got.
3x5 cards. One thing I know we can agree on is special teams. Special teams has been right for the last 8 years of doing this. Special team has never been wrong.
Right.
Stevens Way.
I got Stevens, Way, and Ott. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our 53. Sunday at 6. We'll start making a look and checking the list, checking it twice. We'll probably create a post around this to see who got the closest to the pin. And then we'll also maybe on Tuesday, before we get started into the East coverage, maybe you'll talk about it a little bit while I'm on my way to jump into the booth. This week is gonna be tough. Like I think I'm gonna be out Monday and Tuesday.
Sheesh.
Because the lady said we got there's 200 deals that haven't made its way up to us, and that doesn't even include like whatever we're gonna have tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah, if the walk up business is nice, we're gonna be in that joint. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Oh man. Well, so, gotta make that money, brother.
Hell yeah, man. So I couldn't get the banner, so I'm not sure how you want to do the WNBA talk. If you even want to do any.
We teased it on Tuesday. But
so let's do it this way. Because the graphic, I gotta find me a thing on my computer to create better graphics. But it's only when I do standings that it messes up. I can ask it to create anything else and it's fine. But it kept trying to give me like the 2025 results. But let's go this way. All right, so your WNBA standings in first is the Minnesota Lynx, 31-8. They're up 3.5 games on the Golden State Valkyrie, who are in second place. They're 27-11. Again, 3.5 games back. In third, it's the Las Vegas Aces, 26-13. They're 5 games back. And this is where the fun starts at 3. Because they're 5 games back. On their heels is the Atlanta Dream. They're 25-13. They're 5.5 back. It gets even better because wait, there's more. The Indiana Fever, they're 25-14. They're 6 games back. So you just notice right there, we're talking about 1 game separating 3 positions. But wait, there's more. New York is 23-15. They're 7.5 back. So that's 1.5 back of Indiana, and that's 2 back of Atlanta, and 2.5 back of Las Vegas. And they've only got 38 games in play. And Vegas and Indiana both have 39. So that's where that half game comes into play. I watched the Mystics at 23 and 15. They're 7.5 back, so they're in the mix. And then the Dallas Wings, they're 23 and 16. They're 8 back. So that's your top 8. So we know the 8 teams that are going to be in the WNBA playoffs. The kicker becomes, how does this flush out, and who gets seated where, who plays who. And you know the biggest one that everybody's looking for is if they can get Atlanta and Indiana, because right now Atlanta's 4, Indiana's 5.
Yep.
So that would end up giving those 2 players in the playoff in a series against each other. They can end up 3 and 6 in any kind of shape or fashion. I don't see them getting up to 2, and I don't see, well, they can get to 7 or 8, but they wouldn't be in the mix to play each other. The only way they would be able to play each other is if they were 3, 4, 5, or 6. So if they were 3 and 6 in whatever variation, or 4 and 5 in whatever variation of the 2. But I think this is going to be a very entertaining playoff series because I think they call themselves this. So don't use this against me. But the young hoes of the Mystics, that's what they call themselves. I don't know why Lauren Betts came up with this name, but I mean they're froggy. They got 2 bigs and they got Betts coming off the bench. If they had any kind of point guard play, this team would be dangerous. Dallas, they can fill it up. So 7 and 8 ain't gonna be no, that's not gonna be no easy thing. And I saw this week, I saw the first chink in Olivia Miles' armor. The Golden State Valkyrie came out, and for some reason they were in Minnesota, and the refs allowed the Valkyrie to get real physical with Minnesota. And that kind of turned the tide in that ball game. That's going to be interesting how that plays out when you got a team that's actually gets the game plan for you for 5 nights. Because I think there's a best of 5, maybe the best of 7. That's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game than you coming in on a Thursday night, playing on a Friday, and they don't see you again for 4 6 weeks. So that's what I think the challenge is going to be. Is because once we get into the playoffs and get into the matchup phase of this, it's going to get real interesting.
I'm going to ask a question.
All right.
Just going to ask it. Do you see the Mystics going far?
They got a chance. Like I think that this is where when we get, you know how we had this conversation when we started talking playoffs, we kind of go to a term that's quite popular in the boxing vernacular. That is the term styles make fights. And I think depending on who they match up with, it's going to determine how far they can go. I mean, I think they have a chance. I think they play everybody tough, and they're so unselfish that it doesn't have to be me, him, her, or whoever. They have a chance in all of this. They got a shot. They got an opportunity.
All right. I wonder how much playoff tickets going to be. I'm going to check that out. Might have to put a kidney on the black market to go to get one game.
Hey.
You got 2 of them.
I don't think they want mine.
Oh, man.
You may try to take mine out and try to figure out, do I need a new one? So I wouldn't.
We come to that point in the show. It's time to wrap that shit up, B.
What yeah, Mr. Conti. Mr. Conti, you know, we try to take. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Wrap this up.
What you got?
Since we took care of WNBA, Little League World Series As I tell you every time we get to this, my homeland, Curacao, they're 3-0. I think they end up facing Japan on Saturday for the title, for the international title. Let me see if I can. I forgot the two U.S. Cities, but it's not DC. So by rule, I'm allowed to root for Curacao because DC's not involved, and I don't root for the Americas if it ain't DC. Um, let's see, Saturday it's Tokyo, Japan versus Wilmstead, Curacao. Wilmstead is the capital of Curacao. I know this being a native of Curacao during Little League World Series time. That starts at 12:30 on ABC, and then it's Hamilton, Ohio, versus Henderson, Nevada. So the funny thing about this setup is Henderson, Nevada, and Curacao basically walked through the tournament undefeated, and because it's double elimination, both Tokyo and Ohio were able to come through. Their records are 5-1. So we've got the four best teams in this tournament by far. So it's gonna be interesting. And then, of course, on Sunday at 10 a.m., we get the consolation game, which is the loser of the international game versus the loser of the U.S. game. And then the winners of both games play each other for the Little League World Series championship. So that's how that plays out.
All right.
Don't look at me like that, man. You know this is every year.
Yeah,
I say it every year.
I know. Geez, what do I have for rapping? I had something. I don't even remember what it was. I don't know. It'll come back to me. But man,
Sunday Rise.
Huh?
I said the Sunday Rise is back.
Yes.
This Sunday. So, ladies, get your kit heels, put your slips on, get your Bibles and your fans, because we're gonna be ready to cook on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. It's the best way to start your week off with the Sideline Junkie Sunday Rise. Also, bring a little extra cash. You know, we don't mind the kind of jingle, but we prefer the kind of folk.
Every time. So good to be back. Until next time. When is next time?
This is year 5 of this. And don't forget, Saturday Night WrestleManiacs. I don't know what time y'all going at your normal time.
I believe we're at 9:00 on Saturday.
All right, and then don't forget tomorrow the smorgasbord of ideas, thoughts, and topics. You get the Friday Night Freestyle. I think this week it's Mrs. Bossman and Flying Brian, and I might crash late because I don't know what tomorrow holds. Because tomorrow will be a better you and a better me, because we're all in this world. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's funny you say that. That song's been on my mind for like 2 days. It's been on my mind for 2 days now. I was just like, where's this coming from? I look.
I can't remember. I don't remember what year it was, but I know one of those like graduations from like either 4th to 5th grade or like it wasn't 8th grade because 8th grade was Jeffrey Osborne. I forgot that song. But so I know it wasn't tomorrow, but somewhere in the midst of some school presentation, we sung a little tapping.
So for the Midnight Rider, I'm the big guy KG. Man.
Show was brought to you by the good people out in Manassas, Butte Wine.
Oh man.
Cut me off.
See you on the next one.
tomorrow.
We are out of here.